I don't think each and every human being has to procreate.
You want to have kids? That's fine. I need you to respect my life choice not to have kids.
If nobody had kids, then the human race wouldn't continue. I really don't care.
Society actually should favor the choice to have kids over the choice not to have kids. It's very important that people have kids.
Voluntary childlessness, also known as child-free, describes the voluntary choice of not having kids. Now, being child-free is much different from being childless, as the latter is for those who would love to have kids but can't, normally due to health conditions. Deciding on having children will possibly be one of the most important decisions you would ever make. While some people dream of having children, others despise the idea of parenthood, which is very okay. Having a family isn't meant for everyone. Now, the simple reason behind this video is to understand the mindset of someone who chooses not to have kids voluntarily. In Genesis chapter 9 verse 7, the Bible says, "As for you, be fruitful and multiply, populate the earth abundantly and multiply in it." Reproduction is a fundamental feature for all living organisms. It is the biological process by which living organisms produce offspring similar to them. In the absence of reproduction, the species might not be able to exist for a long time and may soon get extinct. So biblically and scientifically, reproduction is key and very necessary. But what happens when some people deliberately choose to do away with reproduction voluntarily? Now, in this video, I will not be taking a stance for or against the subject. No, I'll be taking a look as to why someone will choose to go child-free and why someone will choose to have kids.
If your relationship isn't happy now, isn't stable or safe now, and isn't equal now, it absolutely isn't going to be any of those things once you add the pressure of caring for another human into that mix.
People love this one. The one about, what if your parents hadn't had you? Well, then I wouldn't be here. And we wouldn't be having this conversation. And I definitely wouldn't have had any kids because I wouldn't be here.
You know, what doesn't occur to people is that a 5-year-old could walk up to a grown-up and say, "I can't wait to be a mommy when I grow up." And they will never say you'll change your mind. But if a little 5-year-old girl comes up and says, "I don't want kids," she's loony, or she's too young, she can't possibly know her mind.
I work hard for my money. I want to keep all of it. I work hard to have the free time I have. I want to use it the way I want to use it. I don't really want to have my life linked to a child as well as another human being my whole life.
Beyond the individual fulfillment that comes from having children, a society that is not built around the future generation is a selfish and stupid society, and that is precisely what we have constructed for ourselves. Not only that, it is a society that is demographically doomed to destruction. And so when you change the norm from "it is good to have kids" to "we are utterly indifferent as to whether people have kids," what you end up with is a dying civilization.
Here's a few reasons why someone will choose to go child-free. Childbirth is a hassle. The period between pregnancy to childbirth normally takes about 9 months. Now, within these 9 months, the female body starts to go through drastic changes and discomforts like morning sickness, body aches, back pains, leg cramps, loss of energy, mood swings, and so many more. Even with improvements in modern medicine to assist childbirth, the whole process can still take a toll on the man and woman expecting. Some women even have to resort to cesarean section due to the inability to give birth through the female organ. In fewer cases too, some women end up losing their lives and losing their children as well. So childbirth is no joke, and it's quite reasonable if a woman will choose never to give birth due to the fear of the unknown. Expenses. Kids are very, very expensive to raise. Some of the biggest costs for new parents include healthcare, diapers, baby formula, clothes, food, toys, and in most cases, paying for babysitting. This cost increase as they grow older. As countries get richer, people tend to have fewer kids. This is because traditionally in societies that are poor, people tend to see children as economic assets, and as the society becomes richer, your kids become an economic burden because of the amount of money you'll be spending on education and the upbringing of a child in a rich country. So you start to see that in richer countries, the percentage of people who choose to go child-free are quite a lot compared to the child-free percentage in poor countries. Unwanted sense of responsibility. Children need attention at every stage in their life, up until they get old enough to cater for themselves. The responsibility in bringing up a child can be very hectic. Some can even lead to sleepless nights, increased stress levels, and all around be a tiring endeavor. Couples who like to be free and adventurous or are career driven probably will be having less time for their kids, which in turn makes parenthood a burden. Some are even influenced by the state of the world, since they don't want their kids to go through the harsh realities of this world. But in the end, it all boils down to preferences. If you really wanted to have kids, you would go ahead and give them the best in this world and make sure their time on this earth is a bliss. These are the few reasons why I think someone would choose to go child-free. If you have more, let me know in the comment section down below. Now, these are the few reasons why someone would choose to have kids. Parenting is a basic instinct. Since the beginning of existence, modern Homo sapiens have been able to repopulate. The ability to pass on our DNA to the next generation has been hardwired into our DNA. A good majority of men and women have this biological urge to give birth to offspring of their own. Strong family bonds. The act of creating a new life also creates a new bond between the man and the woman. This does not only strengthen the unity of the relationship, but it also solidifies the foundation in which your children can grow. Every precious memory created and every moment spent together will only add up to that strong family bond. Satisfaction. It takes a vast amount of effort to raise a human being. Children look up to their parents for absolutely everything, from guidance to nutrition to understanding the difference between wrong and right. All throughout their child's life, parents will experience many different moments of pride. Yet for some parents, the most rewarding moment of all is knowing your child has grown up to be a loving and caring adult and a committed member of society. Because you love kids, being a compassionate caregiver isn't something you learn, but something you are born with. Some women and men just have that natural ability to get along with children. It takes a lot of love and patience to care for a child. If you already adore children, just imagine how much you love to have a son or daughter of your own. These are the few reasons why I think someone will choose to procreate, and I know there's a whole lot, so I'm just leaning on to you guys to also come up with the rest, the reasons why I think someone will want to have children.
Yes, there's always going to be people out there, I believe, who are going to be having children. I don't encourage it, I don't think it's a good idea, but I say they're going to be the ones who are creating the next generation, so I don't worry about humanity going extinct. Quite the opposite. We're not going to go extinct through lack of breeding, we're going to go extinct through overbreeding.
It is better to have kids than not to have kids. That should not be a controversial statement. The fact that it is signals why our civilization is in a state of serious decline.
To the foolish with the money and girls. We my bros, 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 we my bros.